Oh my God. I've never seen anything like this, never.
When we came by it the first time, that's where I thought it was a log.
Dozens of alligators spotted in Lake Apopka.
Yeah, I've never seen that many in that pond before. As we got closer, there was just more and more and more.
As vast and relaxing as the oceans can be, they sometimes contain the very entities no one could have ever imagined exist. Join us today to get to see some of the most terrifying captures made in the ocean.
Look at this fish, my friend.
Fish's surprise.
Never seen nothing like that. What is
It wasn't just this fish that was surprised here, but also the ones that pulled it out. A group of tourists were on a fishing charter trip when one of them was celebrating after making a catch, until the unveiling of the eventual surprise. A large parasite matching the physical description of an isopod popped out of the fish's mouth, getting onto the hand of the one holding it. This parasite, in a matter of milliseconds, had a grip powerful enough that it took multiple attempts for him to swipe it off of his arm, creating a scene of panic for everyone else on board. Creature capsule underwater. This isn't a case of a fish or an octopus laying millions of eggs, but a case of a single, extremely large egg of unearthly nature. On April 19, 2024, marine biologists on a research dive to study about changing breeding habits of marine animals crossed paths with this large creature developing inside a transparent egg-type capsule. The divers circled around it in hopes of getting some answers as to what it might be, and also to get some samples to narrow down its nature. Up until now, no definitive answers have come out from their investigation, but numerous theories swirl that it could be a mermaid's egg or perhaps that of an alien. Prehistoric surfacing monster. The only possible explanation for a giant prehistoric monster appearing is that it came from the deep depths of the ocean. A public beach in California left everyone in a frenzy of panic as this massive monster made an appearance. Be it sharks or any other apex predator, none of them are known to break cover before a confrontation, which this monster did, leaving its actual intentions unknown. However, the grim nature and look of this monster is enough to convince anyone that it would have done some sinister thing if it had the chance. Rare black gar. In May 2022, two Texan fishermen made an unusual catch that resembled an alien creature, a rare black alligator gar. One fisherman, recognizing its rarity, identified it by its high melanin levels. Due to the infrequency of encountering such creatures, the fishermen considered adding it to their private aquarium collection. A marine biologist noted that these unique fish can grow up to 10 feet in length and can weigh as much as 350 pounds. Despite its menacing and odd appearance, the rare black alligator gar was released back into the water due to its rarity.
Look at this fish, my friends.
Revealing Loch Ness Monster.
Oh my God!
Never before has anyone been able to get a close and clear picture of a Loch Ness Monster until this. On May 9th, 2024, whale watchers were heading out for their routine shift off the coast of Florida, where, while on their way, they noticed the surfacing of an unusual kind of mammal, and they quickly started to film it. With its appearance nothing like that of a shark, whale, or orca, the footage was shared in hopes to find answers. It wasn't long until everyone started calling it a Loch Ness Monster that had revealed itself.
Oh my God!
Grandma Great White. The very cause of fear of the water is because of sharks, and the presence of this record-sized shark should revalidate it all. A wildlife conservationist and researcher who devoted her entire life to marine life shared her encounter with an old yet gigantic great white shark. Approximate estimations say this shark was around 7 meters in length and nearly 2 meters in width. The numerous battle scars all over its body show how fierce and battle-hardened this shark must be, having survived many challenges. It's pretty amazing to see how one could dive so close to such an apex predator. Mysterious sea creature.
Huncha.
The clearly visible tentacles on this one look nothing like that of either a jellyfish or an octopus. Visitors at a beach in Sydney, Australia, picked up this unidentifiable carcass of a sea creature found lying at the beach. Its decayed nature made it impossible to get a sense of what it was. Onlookers, however, did try to lift it up, hoping for answers, but they were out of luck. Rare stranded eel. Of all eels seen on the internet to date, this one here looked much bigger, wider, and different in color. While under a fishing bridge in California, a smoker was able to notice this one-of-a-kind eel that seemed to be caught and stuck in between the wooden pillars of the bridge.
Look, there it is.
It was struggling to break free, and with the presence of the man, it only got more desperate. After nearly a minute, the eel pulled itself out so smoothly, almost as if it had been pretending to be stuck. By its size, width, and light green shade, this eel left a lasting impression. Mermaid baby. Everyone's first thoughts about this might be that this could be a monkey, except that monkeys can't breathe underwater. While casting in a river somewhere in Bangladesh, a villager discovered this tiny, unrecognizable being. Despite several efforts to capture it using the tools he had at hand, he didn't succeed in getting it, but luckily did document the entire scene on camera. As the footage caught mainstream attention, it created peak interest, where most people started theorizing this was a mermaid baby. Underwater snake lizard. It's almost amazing that you never know what you might find underwater, like this reptile species that looks like a cross between snake and lizard. A recreational diver was in the midst of a private tour underwater, and he noticed and got hold of a unique-looking reptile being, leaving him in complete shock and awe at its physical appearance. It was quite slim and elongated to the length of a snake, yet had limbs and other physical features usually seen in lizards. Though the nature of the species is not known, this creature is actually quite friendly and kind of adorable at the same time. Shark under duress. Moments like these show there's no limits to the lengths of evil that some people go to. A diver was fishing underwater with a spear gun and decided to call it a day upon finding this helpless shark sunk into the ocean floor. It was missing not just its dorsal fin on top, but also the pectoral and every other fin on its body, making it impossible for the shark to swim or float. Instead of leaving this poor shark to face a slow and agonizing end, the least that the perpetrator could have done is put an end to it. River mermaid. It's mostly accepted that mermaids are a thing of fiction, until a case like this comes along. A long-distance hiker was about to fill his canteen bottle from a nearby river when he took notice of this mermaid that was swimming underwater, very close to the surface. The mermaid seems to be swimming without any semblance of fear or doubt in the world, from its appearance until its eventual disappearance. It left the recorder stunned in disbelief. The location was never shared by the source for the safety and well-being of this river mermaid. Floating marine mystery. It's not just in the depths of the seas where you can make discoveries as strange as this, but sometimes even on the surface. Late-night beachgoers thought they discovered a beached whale until they turned on their flashlights to discover it was something else entirely. It had the closest resemblance to that of a snake, though most of its skin looked to be melted off, and it was bloated in the middle of its body. Its eye was wide open, but remained motionless, presumably as it might have already expired, or was about to. Swimming Swamp Frankenstein. It's not just the sharks or crocodiles, or even the alligators you have to worry about while swimming, but also things such as this. While speedboating through a river in Indonesia, the occupants, a bunch of tourists, filmed a massive Frankenstein unknown creature swimming until it immediately dipped into the river water as the boat came passing by. Instinctively, the entire boat was brought to a complete stop, with the spectators curious and confused about what they just came across. The fact that it was smart enough to hide itself away from the tourists makes it quite a frightening beast. Hiding Crocogiant. Regardless if it's the swampy surface or the blinding darkness underneath, crocodiles are one of the sneakiest ambush predators on the planet. A wildlife conservation worker was checking up on this giant adult crocodile that, despite being well set up for ambush, didn't display any of its intentions to be aggressive. The diver had numerous instances of similar encounters that left him surprised and speechless every time. Had this crocodile's intentions turned and been wild, it surely would have been a problem for that person. Unknown deceased marine mammal. Here's another case of not being able to fathom the wildlife that exists underwater. A harbor full of curious public gathered in Florida when a fast decaying carcass of an unknown marine mammal appeared floating. It came into the harbor with the waves until it stopped. While its decaying nature made it hard to recognize, its teeth narrowed down its identity as a dolphin or an orca. The body composition, however, rules out other possibilities, making it a total mystery. Symbiotic goo. The priority of this symbiotic goo wasn't that of finding a suitable host, but feeding on one. This gooey creature was spotted near the beach and left the recorder curiously wondering about its nature while it was attempting to corner a crab and get itself onto it. In a matter of seconds, that gooey organism managed to wrap itself around the crab and then remain stationary. After watching it not move for several minutes, the recorder curiously touched it, when to its shock, it turned out the crab was no more, eaten up by that goo. Now imagine if something like this were big enough to start giving humans the same treatment. Gigantic crab limb. If this limb is bigger than the size of an average human, one can only imagine how big the crab would have been. A beachgoer was astonished upon the discovery of this gigantic crab limb lying in shallow water. The size of the thing was so large that the difference can be very clearly seen once he placed his hand on it. Apart from its size, the source also shared it to be quite heavy, and he was in fear of his safety in case that crab was still somewhere around. Most viewers called it a hoax, or that it was a prop, which made it look very real. Ancient mummified mermaid. Despite all our modern technology, finding a genuine mermaid has eluded us, which is somewhat embarrassing. Last year in March, a mysterious creature was allegedly caught in the Pacific Ocean off the Japanese island of Shikoku. With its human-like face and fish tail, marine biologists and archaeologists carefully examined it and revealed it to be a mermaid from the ancient era, dating between 1736 and 1741. The mummified carcass, now preserved, is kept at a temple in the city of Asakuchi. It seems either we failed to capture any actual mermaids, or they vanished entirely. Child dragon creature. A resident of Rong Island, Cambodia, stumbled upon a peculiar creature that he claims to be a baby dragon. The discovery followed heavy rain, prompting the resident to record a video of the creature and share it to Facebook. Although it resembled a dead lizard or a snake, the resident insisted it was something far more extraordinary. Unfortunately, by the time a team of marine biologists arrived to investigate, the remains had decomposed too much to obtain any viable samples for study. Two-headed whale. Had things gone the right way, these two could have been twins. This video, taken on January 9th, 2014, off the coast of Mexico, shows conjoined whale calves that had died from an unknown cause. While it might appear to be a case of poor teamwork, marine biologists believe it is physically impossible for prematurely born whales to survive, especially when conjoined.
Marine biologists say conjoined whales or Siamese whales
It seems to have died recently.
After samples were collected, the carcass was buried on the beach near the lagoon, where it was initially found. Scientists are now waiting for the complete decomposition of the body so that both the skeleton and the collected samples can help determine the cause of death. Possible anaconda giant. If this is an actual anaconda, it's probably one that broke all the records. During a stormy day at a beach in Cape Town, South Africa, one of the beachgoers spotted a very large snake-type organism that was dragged out of water visibly enough for anyone to see. Many proclaimed it to be another Loch Ness monster, but nothing much is known about this for it to be labeled as anything. If it's a giant-sized anaconda, it certainly would be a huge cause for concern for all beachgoers and boaters alike. Shallow water anomaly. There's nothing about this that looks to be anything out of the ordinary that could be from within the water. Crewmen of a fishing trawler in Spain, in the midst of their daily routine work, suspended their operations for a couple of hours after finding some indescribable anomalies underwater in the shallows. According to one of the crewmen, it looked quite like two alienoids, having tissue and tentacles similar to that of jellyfish, but with more of a human torso. Both of them seemed to be intertwined with each other to the point that they couldn't be pulled apart. Three-eyed fishes. In two separate incidents, fishermen and bystanders witnessed a fish with an unusual feature, an eye in the center of its head, in addition to a pair of eyes on either side of its face. Residents in New York shared a video of this three-eyed fish, which suddenly surfaced in the Gowanus Canal, astonishing onlookers. While some speculated about deformity, evolution, or mutation, many believe this fish might be the result of lab-created specimens or experiments released into the wild. This theory gained some traction, especially since a three-eyed mutant fish famously appeared in the animated series The Simpsons. Unnamed fish species. On December 21, 2011, local fishermen in the Amazon River near Oran, Peru, captured a video of a massive and highly unusual fish caught in the dead of night. Due to the darkness and poor lighting, the species of the fish could not be identified. It was described as having exceptionally large teeth and being much bigger than any usual catch. After hours of attempting to apprehend it, the fishermen decided to release it. However, one of them, wearing a diving suit, managed to capture a photo of the fish before letting it go. A local marine biologist suggested that it could be a Maroc baku or Lithodorus dorsalis, but the exact nature of the fish remains a mystery. Boomerang fish.
Patrzcie na to, co zrobiłem, jaki zajebisty.
Unlike the actual boomerang, there's a very good chance that this fish might not return if it's tossed back into the water. A young man was fishing under a bridge in Portland, Oregon, where one of the fishes that he reeled in had a shape that looked a lot like a boomerang. It almost had no fins, apart from a few small ones by the tail. The very bizarre nature and shape of this fish left him, and everyone else who saw it, pondering as to what species it could be. It very well could be a case of far-gone mutation.
Ja pierniczę, jakiś...
Surfacing giant. For something to be this big and close to the land, it's rather alarming, especially when it comes to its intentions. A bird photographer that was documenting in Lake Colico, located in the Cunco commune of Chile's Araucanía region, noticed the presence of something abnormal within the water. What he recorded on the camera was a mysterious creature with 4 humps emerging from the water. Apart from only partially revealing its back, it remained almost completely submerged, making rounds over the area. With that area clear of any humans in the water or boats, it could have very well been patiently waiting for an unsuspecting victim to pounce on. Petrified remains discovered. These aren't some rock carvings that were discovered, but remains of actual petrified animals. An archaeologist in Africa was working on excavating a site in search of fossils of ancient species of carnivorous wild animals, and found remains of a wild animal that looked to be petrified before its ultimate demise. The rumors of this being a rock carving raised by the very sensible nature of claws proves the case otherwise. No one knows as to what or how such a thing could have materialized, but it's truly fascinating to say the least. Port Blair Giant. A group of tourists sailing in the waters of Port Blair, Andaman, and Nicobar Islands had an unforgettable encounter when they spotted a massive saltwater crocodile lounging on a submerged rock. This enormous reptile, known locally as the Port Blair Giant, is estimated to be around 23 feet long, and it weighs over 2,500 pounds. Believed to be the largest saltwater crocodile in the area, the Port Blair Giant is a creature you can spot even from a distance, and one that you should definitely steer clear of. Mud-covered reptilian. Despite covering only 1% of the Earth's surface, our rivers harbor some truly eerie creatures that keep us on edge. While working at the Akidawana River, a fisherman was startled to find a horrifying sight near the riverbank. He discovered a creature with an eyeless head shaped like an alligator or crocodile, and teeth unlike anything he'd seen in 15 years of experience. Driven by curiosity, he tried to poke the creature to identify it, but it immediately darted back into the water. To this day, no one's been able to explain what kind of river anomaly it was. Another possible mermaid. While exploring uncharted waters, an explorer with a reputation for documenting encounters with mythical creatures reported finding a mermaid. Off the coast of Florida, near the Bermuda Triangle, his drone captured footage of a creature with the upper body of a human and lower body of a fish. Some claim to have heard their enchanting songs luring sailors off course, while others speak of sightings in distant waters, sparking both fear and fascination among seafarers. While skeptics dismiss these accounts as mere folklore, the allure of the sea and its mysteries continue to inspire legends of mermaids among ship captains and sailors alike. Massive resting anaconda. As huge as this anaconda is, the only thing that's keeping it inactive is the fact that it just recently fed on something huge. A local in Brazil living close to the Amazon rainforest found this massive anaconda that was peacefully resting by the trees. The large anaconda, despite attempting to move, looked to be weighed down by its massive prey that it most likely consumed recently before it was found. It sure would be a nightmare if a predator this huge were to sneak into a village under the cover of darkness. Mystery of deep underwater. In 2006, NOAA scientists exploring ocean depths at 526 meters inspecting an oil tank captured a remarkable event on video. A submarine recorded a mysterious deep-sea creature using a spear to catch fish. This behavior, unprecedented among known deep-sea creatures, led to speculation about its identity, with some wondering if it was some form of mermaid. Traditional mermaid tales describe them as beautiful, human-like beings with fishtails, but eyewitness accounts suggest they're strange and otherworldly. This mysterious creature, captured on video, deepens the intrigue and wonder surrounding the ocean's unexplored depths. See-through sea squirt. On the bright side, at least these wouldn't need X-ray specs. A team of marine biologists discovered a new, rare species of sea squirt. This is officially Japan's newest species, named Clavellina ossipendae. Clavellina means little bottle, and ossipendae refers to its skeleton. These creatures belong to a larger family of marine invertebrate filter feeders. Their Japanese name, Gaikutsu panda hoya, translates to skeleton panda sea squirt. The discovery was made just over 50 meters below the sea, on the ocean floor next to Okinawa. Encounter with the unknown. Looks like there's a lot more creatures that live underneath the mud-dense waters. A fisherman had his line dipped, hoping to catch a mudfish, but instead reeled this out. At first, he mistook it to be an alligator or a crocodile covered in mud, but its nature only got more and more confusing the closer it came. The footage then dramatically cuts off, leaving us wondering what the true nature of this creature is. Following whale shark. Though it's not clear what sparked the interest of this large whale shark, apart from the influence of bad feeding habits, a boater noticed the sudden appearance and oncoming whale shark and had to push the gas and flee, terrified of the experience. Now, although whale sharks have never been known to be aggressive in nearly any capacity with humans, experts believe that this behavior was largely due to the bad feeding habits developed from tourists and visitors offering snacks. Bottled alien insect. If you're familiar with the fictional facehugger aliens, you'd notice it's got a very similar resemblance. Footage uploaded on June 22, 2014 by a Malaysian YouTuber showed a carcass of an unrecognizable alien creature that looked to have a leafy underbody along with several limbs and a tail. The source secured the carcass in a bottle after finding it to avoid insects eating it and to avoid its decaying smell. Judging by the looks of it, many called it to be a case of a real-life facehugger, but no one knows its actual nature. If there were to be a real facehugger, its new and improved camouflaging look would certainly be terrifying. Worm monster. Perhaps this actually was a kind of alien in the works. On November 25, 2018, mysterious and disturbing footage captured a worm monster outside an apartment in Houston, Texas. The video shows a squirming mass with parts writhing in every direction, found in shallow water. Observers online speculate that the mass could be a colony of tubifex worms, also known as sludge worms or sewage worms. To date, no one knows of its nature or how it was dealt with. Hungry barracuda strikes. Just when you think you've made a good catch, an underwater tax man jumps in for a cut. Footage from a May 2009 fishing charter captures the moment a hungry barracuda struck an amberjack being reeled in. A dramatic struggle ensues between prey and predator for several seconds, until the barracuda turns and disappears. When the amberjack is finally lifted from the water, a huge portion of its upper back is missing, as if the barracuda had taken its tax from the fisherman. Unexplained jello monster. The look of something that you see may tell you a lot about its nature, but the case for this was totally different. A video was uploaded of this Chinese man finding and trying to understand what this jello matter could be. It was very long, had black, slimy, hair-like tentacles, and a body tissue similar to that of a jellyfish. Taken from within. After pulling his crab trap from the ocean, a fisherman was excited to find a large crab inside. However, he quickly noticed it was unusually still and suspected something was wrong. Upon closer inspection, he discovered dozens of sea lice crawling through the crab's empty exoskeleton, having devoured all its insides and leaving nothing but an empty shell. Record-sized hammerhead. In a gripping episode of Blacktip H, fishing expert Greg Norman and his team had a daunting encounter with a colossal hammerhead shark. Initially, a drone captured the massive hammerhead pursuing a smaller blacktip shark. Using strategic baiting, they redirected the hammerhead's attention, engaging in a nearly hour-long struggle to capture the giant, which surpassed the current world record in overall length at 14.7 feet. After careful measurement, documentation, and photographing, they released the formidable hammerhead, showcasing the awe-inspiring yet humbling experiences that fishing expeditions can unfold. Open discussion. This picture and video were taken on May 9th, 2024 by a drone, showing the sudden surfacing of a large pod of whales that were huddling together, spending their last moments before demise. Known as a whale stranding, this heartbreaking event raises many unanswered questions about the interconnectedness of life and the depths of animal consciousness. Scientists speculate that factors such as illness, disorientation, or environmental changes may contribute to these mass strandings. Yet, amidst the tragedy, there's something undeniably poignant about the whale's instinct to seek solace and companionship in their final hours. It's a testament to the bonds that unite all living beings, transcending species and language. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments, and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.